Everyone knows that slumps are completely unavoidable in softball, so we're going to put together a short video for you today with some tools to help you work through those. We would love to hear your experiences and how you got yourself out of a slump, because we know that there are a bunch of other ways to do it past what we talk about today. So please also like, subscribe, and comment. We really do want to hear from you, and thank you to everyone who's commented so far. We're thrilled that you like the videos that you've seen. So when you get into a slump, there's always going to be some different issues, and not being able to see that in person, we can't help you with the physical side of things, but we are going to give you some tips that have helped both of us, both on the mental side and also for in-game adjustments. And the first one, probably the simplest one, is just breathing. So learning how to breathe, we want to breathe into your stomach rather than high into your chest, because that's going to make you tight. And a lot of times adding a count to your breath really helps bring you back into the moment. So thinking like a 3-second inhale, maybe a 2-second hold, maybe not, and then a long 5, 6, 7-second exhale, maybe doing that once between pitches just to help center yourself.
Yes. And then another tip that we recommend is to just talk about it with coaches, teammates, friends, whoever. Sometimes when we're in a mental state of self-doubt or overthinking, we make things bigger than they are. And once we say those thoughts out loud, we kind of realize how dumb they are. Or sometimes you don't want to say it out loud in fear that like it makes it true, which is something that I struggled with too. So, but once I realized, saying it out loud, I realized that that's not the case, and that's just the overthinker in me talking. That can help you get out of like a mental slump as well.
Another thing to help take some pressure off of yourself too is, instead of when you're in a game trying to make each pitch you throw be really, really good, instead focus on just getting out. Get the batter to swing, let your defense do the work for you, and put the pressure back on the batter so it helps you relax and just stay in the moment a little bit more again.
Yeah. And going off of that, I've said this before in other videos as well, but it's not a 1-versus-1 game. It's not hitter versus pitcher. You have your entire defense working behind you. So like Christina said, feeding your defense and making sure that you're, cheering on your teammates and your defense, because like I said, it's not just you versus the hitter. It's your whole team versus that one.
Another thing you could do with your defense is to get them to rally behind you a little bit more. So one of the things that I really liked to do was I would turn around to my defense after an at-bat, and I would ask the entire infield and outfield who wanted the next one. And so usually it was my third baseman. She was very greedy. She wanted every single ball. And so it became my goal during every at-bat to try and get the batter to hit to her to get that out. And so it became a little bit more fun for me, and it got my defense to buy in just that much more and work harder for me. And it became a game within a game, which can help kind of reset your mind a little bit and get you back to having fun and being in the moment.
Another undervalued tool is using a journal. So I've talked about this in some of the short videos that we put out, but you want to write down in a journal how you feel after a game or a practice, both good and bad. So you don't want to just write down, oh, like today sucked, I walked a lot of people. Like, we don't want to just focus on the negatives, but also writing down how you felt at your best. So in some of my journal entries, I would write down some of the thoughts, or no thoughts really. I usually feel my best when I'm not thinking. Writing down what my body felt like, writing down how I prepared for that game, whatever, just so that I'm able to go back and read it and enter that same mind space. So that can help you kind of get back on track if you're going through a slump, is just reading about when you were doing good and when you felt at your best.
For sure. And really the last thing that we have for an in-game adjustment is changing the pitch calling a little bit. So if you're having a day, a week, a month where your best pitch isn't really working, like if your rise ball is flat, well, we're still going to throw it, but we're going to throw it differently. So maybe we're not going to get ahead with it because we know it's not jumping, but we can save it and throw it out of the zone when we're ahead, or if we're trying to get the batter to chase. So changing up your pitch calling can help take some pressure off of you when one of your better pitches isn't working, and then it gives you something else to lean on and go to help get outs for you. Join us next week. We're going to do a video on some recovery techniques that have worked for us so that you're fresh the next day, because rarely do we just play one day and then have the next day off. And then, practices, you're just always going. So learning how to recover and take better care of yourself is going to go a really long way to help you out. So we'll see you then.
Bye.